It looks like closing arguments is happening right now. Okay, so we were instructed by the judge not to stream any of the trial live because of the witness or the victim's name, everything like that. But I see that apparently rules are being broken all throughout here. So I have been in accordance with the court order all of the trial since I was told, listen, day one, you can't be streaming that. So I have been doing what I'm supposed to do as it pertains to that. Now, as it pertains to the closing statements, this is the end of the end. All the arguments have been said. Everything has been put in. There was several people who testified on Nature Boy's behalf. There was Aya testified, Efru testified, some lady who said that she let the victim of the case go to her home testified. Jax testified, Juju testified. So all of these people have already testified. Prosecution and the defense.
How late you want to go this evening? I'm happy to stay.
Ryan Reynolds here. Big Wireless has once again raised their prices. In
No physical evidence.
Yeah, we're wrong point.
If it was DNA or semen on Mr. Bishop's bed, would that have really given you any indication? No, because there's no dispute as to whether or not intercourse occurred. We know that. What you have to decide, was it forceful?
We should be on point now.
So I'm not going to talk about the current numbers, closer and all it, but all of them justify.
Somebody said, take us to what's happening right now, right live. No, we're not that far behind. We're just like a little bit behind because I paused it. We're not that far behind, and no.
The physical abuse. Everything bad about Mr. Bishop, oh, that was just an act. Oh, we were just doing that for clout. That's a lie. He did it, and it wasn't for clout. It wasn't to act. It wasn't to get the people to watch. That's how he felt. Let me slap you to get you in line. Juliano Diaz. I asked him on cross, have you ever seen Mr. Bishop slap somebody? Oh, no, never. No, he's never been physically violent. That was a lie. He is a liar. That's a lie. Because I specifically asked him, there's a video, Mr. Diaz, with you, Mr. Bishop, and another individual named Boyle. Oh yeah, and in that video, Mr. Bishop slapped Boyle. Then he remembered, then there was an explanation. Same thing with Miss Wade.
Shout out to
She has
Nick
got
at night.
loyalty that I've never seen. To take this witness stand and lie and say, yeah, I'm the one that posted it. Admitting to a crime in a courtroom full of people, in front of deputies, in front of the media, that's a lie. Mr. Bishop posted it. But imagine that loyalty to come in here, take the stand and say, yeah, I'm the one that posted it. I submit to you she didn't. But if she did, Mr. Bishop told her to do it. And then this lie about what we do everything for clout. You know, we saw Chris Rock get slapped, he got the attention, and you know, we really liked that. That was March 27th. That was well after they started slapping each other. That was a lie. She is a liar. She is unworthy of your belief.
Go ahead, girl.
Ms. Wade.
I knew she would do better.
Ms. Buckner. You didn't hear from Aaliyah, but Ms. Wade and Ms. Buckner all told you, or both told you, that they talked to Mr. Bishop over 80 times since last week. We are, 8 days from when we started? Over 80 times. You can only imagine the conversations they had. I believe Ms. Wade admitted, yeah, we talked about the trial. He tells me what people were saying. We discussed what Janae said. You think he didn't influence her testimony? Of course he did. Janae's story. They're having a party at the house. She's too friendly with Fauna. She decides, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going to take myself, I'm going to go home. She's starting to get her bags. Maybe Giuliano's helping her get her bags. She goes to the Uber. Zoka, Efru, someone calls her back. God is calling. Why don't you answer the call? Come on back. She goes in that house. And you know, Mr. Booker talked a lot about what he wouldn't do. I wouldn't do that. He's not Janae. It doesn't matter what he would or wouldn't do in a situation. Oh, well, I wouldn't have done that. You know what that is? That's victim blaming. Well, I wouldn't know what she did. Don't fall for that. It doesn't matter what he would have done. This is about Janae. She goes up the steps, and you know, Amanda Planter, the domestic violence expert, told you that there's still feelings of attraction between the abuser and the victim. And we'll get to her testimony. But she goes up the steps, she's trying to say bye to him. He pulls her in the room, and she's like, no, I gotta leave. I don't wanna do this. She told you she lost count how many times she said no. No wasn't good enough. No obviously did not matter to Mr. Bishop. He took her in that bedroom, raped her. She told you that her body began to reject him. And he believes, oh, how dare you have an orgasm and I don't. So it flips her over and penetrates her from behind. And she told you in that moment she was still saying no. At that point she said she was crying, but he kept going until he ejaculated. She told you she lost count how many times she said no. All it takes is one time. One time. One time wasn't enough for Mr. Bishop. Why didn't Janae report immediately? Remember, she told you that part of this group was us versus them mentality. The police aren't going to help you. It's the white man versus us. They're not going to help you. That's why she didn't go to the police. She doesn't think they can help her. He's conditioned them to think the outside world is Babylon. They're hell. They can't help you. Why would she run for law enforcement? And when she reported the statement to Officer Hugh that there was revenge porn, they were outside the parking lot. Can you blame her for not reporting a rape? They're outside in the parking lot. And she's still trying to process what has happened where she doesn't really know what happened. Even when she did the interview with Fatigue, she told you, I still have loyalty to him. I'm still trying to protect him. I believe that was maybe a week after this happened. She still felt like she had to defend him. Now, why shouldn't we do that? And we'll get to some reasons why. But think about how humiliating it was for her to take that stand and watch those videos. I can't think of anything more embarrassing. I watched y'all's faces. Some of y'all didn't even want to look. And while we're talking about the videos, those videos are in evidence. If there is a piece of evidence you want to see or hear that you don't have in the back, sometimes the CDs you won't have because there's nothing to play it back there. But if there's something you need to hear or see again, the judge will instruct you on how to communicate with the court that you want to see or hear it again. But on those videos is the defendant's Twitter page, and it's the date on the actual video. It was posted March 27th, so there's no discrepancy on when it was posted. But how embarrassing for her to have to sit here and watch close to 3 minutes of her having consensual sex with the defendant. Ms. Newell knew that when this case went to trial, that would happen. A courtroom full of people. Mr. Bishop, his supporters, the news, the state, the defense, spectators. How humiliating. What does Janae gain by coming in here and lying on Mr. Bishop? Nothing. Nothing. So let's talk about context. In this case, context is huge. Context matters. What Janae thought would happen to her, what Janae believed, it matters in this case. You all have heard all the rules they have about eating, about sleeping, using the bathroom, relationships. Mr. Bishop determined who was going to be together. There was really no clear rule. It was just, well, today I want to be together, tomorrow I don't. Social media. We know he was the only one that controlled the social media. Every single witness, former Paul member, testified. He controls social media. Aaron Dixon told you that. Courtney Townsend told you that. All four of the girls told you that. He's the one that controls social media. He always told them the outside world was hell or Babylon. All of them, all the former members, saw physical abuse. And the defendant would say, well, that's just discipline. Every single one of them, Kendra Carter, Breonna Jacobs, Janae Newell, Velvet Marquez, Aaron Dixon, Courtney Townsend. When Mr. Coveney would ask,
all them was ex-cult members.
They were like almost shocked. Like,
them names you just heard were
they couldn't even believe
cult members.
We couldn't say no to him. All of them were emotionally dependent on them. Even Juliano Diaz, and I can't remember about Mr. Bright, but certainly all of them were going through something in their lives at the moments that they found Mr. Bishop. They were emotionally dependent on him. They were searching for spirituality and searching for themselves. They believed he was God. Mr. Diaz, to this.
The names that they just called, they was ex-cult members, and they testified for the state. So then the 6 people that testified for the state.
They believe that Mr. Bishop is the Messiah. We've already talked about this, but some of the former members.
Who you're hearing now is the state prosecutor.
It was hell on wheels. He knew things got crazy when it was time to leave. People would get physically abused. People snuck out in the middle of the night. Aaron Dixon. He told you that the women in the group didn't have their own mind. So this thought from Miss Wade or Miss Buckner that, oh, women were equal, that's simply not true. Women didn't have their own mind. And remember when Mr. Coveney asked, because they moved around so much, I think it's kind of hard to keep track. Hawaii, Las Vegas, California, Georgia. But when Mr. Coveney said, well, what was the main criteria when y'all would find places to live? You remember what Aaron Dixon said? Isolation. And as much as Caleb Buckner didn't want to say it, isolation. In the jungle, in the woods, away from society. Other victims. Kendra Carter, Breonna Jacobs, and Velvet Marquez. And we can bring them in here just to say, oh, well, if he did it to them, he did it to Janae. But
and Breonna
matters. It shows you exactly what he thinks of women. He thinks women have no voice.
And Janae.
He thinks women aren't believable.
Then the folks ex-cult member girls.
He thinks he can control women.
And you got
I'm asking you to prove him wrong.
Aaron.
Kendra Carter was 23
and Courtney.
when she joined the group.
They the 2 male.
She said that you couldn't say no to Mr. Bishop.
Carbonation.
If you disagreed, there was physical violence. And she also saw people leaving in the middle of the night. And Kendra Carter told you about the time where I think they were in the bathroom, but he forced her to perform oral sex. She told you she didn't want to do that, but no was not an option. Brianna Jacobs, a little bit younger. She was 19 years old when she joined the group.
She was 19 when she got
I think
there.
she said she didn't really communicate with her family, but most of them only communicated with their family for money because none of them were working. They got donations from social media. And the defendant laid her down in the bathroom, penetrated her anally. But remember, I think something really stuck out when Brianna testified. She still couldn't talk about it. Mr. Coveney said, what happened? It happened. She still could not say what it was. He literally had to walk her through and say, okay, I hate to do this, but tell me what he did. He put his penis in my anus. She still, years later, cannot describe what that act was. So much so that she tore, she was bleeding, other women had to help her. And she said, Mr. Booker asked her, well, did you say no? And she said, I shut down. I froze. I couldn't say anything. Consistent with what Amanda Plancher said. Fight, flight, freeze.
Fight,
Brianna
flight,
anything. But
freeze.
even if she did, would it have mattered? No, not to Mr. Bishop. Even if she did say no, even if she did scream, it wouldn't have mattered. Bella Marquez was 20 years old when she joined. She said that the physical abuse
Bella
started when
Marquez,
she
she was
carrying
20.
his child. And again, what does Bella
And she ended up having a baby by Mr.
coming in
Bishop.
here knowing that the video of her giving Mr. Bishop oral sex would be on display on a huge monitor behind me with the news here, with Mr. Bishop here, with a courtroom.
I'm telling you about Bella Marquez. She was 20 years old when she went there, but she ain't go there for Mr. Bishop. She went there for another man named Omac. And then Mr. Bishop couldn't stand that she was with him because he wanted her. So he ended up getting with Velvet Marquez. They ended up having a baby. And he was abusing her while she was pregnant with his child. And all the cult members made a circle around him when she didn't want to do what Mr. Bishop said. The rest of the cult members made a circle around them. And Mr. Bishop jumped on Velvet Marquez. Jumped on her, threw her down on the floor, concrete or where it was. And every time she tried to leave, he had her identities, like her passport, her ID, and all that. He kept everybody that came up to his coat. He always get their ID, their passports, and all that. So therefore, when they want to leave, it's gonna be hard for them to leave because they ain't got all that. They ain't got their identities.
Full of people. She gains nothing but humiliation. Mr. Rick Allen Ross, we brought him in here to give you context because honestly, this whole thing defies logic.
Now, Rick Ross, he's an expert witness for the cult. He studied the cult. He been doing it for 20 plus years. So go hear what he say.
I watched y'all's reactions at some point, and I can see the wheels spinning because it took me some time to, how do people get here? How? Because it defies logic. But there were 3 qualities he gave or characteristics of a cult leader or a destructive, authoritarian leader. No meaningful accountability, Elijah Bishop, because no one is above him. Thought reform, coercive persuasion. They come in, you unfreeze them, you change them, you freeze them again, make them believe what you want them to believe. And then the leader does harm. Mr. Bishop.
from TurboTax. Get $100 back instantly at filing when a TurboTax expert does your taxes for you.
Mr. Ross told you that the group is more important than the individual. So all of these people, as I mentioned, thought they were serving a higher purpose. They thought they were doing this in the name of the group, in the name of Mr. Bishop. So they had to learn, or he forced them to learn, to be selfless. Don't think of yourself, think of the group. They all thought they were serving a higher purpose. Mr. Ross talked about, I think I asked him, why do people stay in these groups that are harmful? And he said there's just exit costs. I think Mr. Dixon showed some of that, some regret, some embarrassment. Like, how did I let myself actually believe this guy's God? Some guilt. Those things weigh on you. They stick with you. Even Kendra. Do you remember when she testified that when Janae was packing her bags and leaving, she was one of the ones hitting her, like corralling her, get your stuff, come on. You're weak, you're going to your lower self.
Hello, Miss Laura, how you doing? Happy Wednesday to you. I hope you're having a blessed morning. What you listen to now, what you listen to now is the trial of Alicia Bishop, how the prosecutor is speaking now, and then they're going to send it to the jury, and we're going to watch that, and then we're going to listen to some of the ex-cult members that was talking about what he did to them.
They all want to defend Mr. Bishop. Amanda Blanchard, who testified as an expert in the field of domestic violence, said that most victims don't leave at the first sign of abuse. So it doesn't matter what Mr. Booker would have done. It doesn't matter. A lot of you know someone who's been in an abusive relationship. Y'all know it takes time. Ms. Blanchard told you that most times victims in these types of relationships, it takes 7 times for them to actually leave.
I'm doing okay.
And the most severe acts of physical or sexual abuse occur when the victim refuses to be dominated. In that moment, in that bedroom on Arbor Chase, Janae had enough. And in that moment, she refused to be dominated.
I'm not heard of this.
The most severe act of sexual abuse.
Yeah, it was at the end of last month when this trial was going, Miss Laura. And he had about 15, 16 members up in his
screaming and yelling.
In his tribe.
All rape is not stranger danger, dark alley. Let me fight back. Let me rip your clothes. Fight, flight, or freeze.
What he got arrested at is in DeKalb County.
That is not consent. And when she said, I just said okay. Acquiescence
in Georgia.
Because of intimidation, not consent. Janae's life has been just completely upended by this trial.
Yes, I remember
she is the source of
now.
So much online
You
drama.
Did cover that. Yes, Miss Laura. Yes, yes, Miss Laura.
By coming in here and telling you all what happened. Mr. Bishop wanted to control her.
He thought he was God, Miss Laura, but God, the real God, had to show him who he is. He's not God.
Give him what he wanted, and he's trying to control her now. Her voice. He doesn't want you all to believe her. He wants you to render her unworthy of belief. Do y'all remember in his interview how many times he said, "Oh, she's a prostitute," and so what if she was? No, you can't believe she's a prostitute. Does not matter. He doesn't care about her consent because we know she left March 24th, March 25th. Those videos were posted days later. No means no. One time. One time. You don't have to say it 5 times, 10 times, 15 times.
Yes.
One time. No means no. And as Mr. Copley said, I think something that is just huge in this case.
God.
If you find Ms. Newell
He's a jealous God.
sexual intercourse
No
because
one
of
comes
fear
before
or
him.
intimidation.
I guess he didn't
You
read
can
that,
find
Miss
her
Laura.
out
He
for
took
consent. Sexual
what he
intercourse
wanted
obtained through
to take
fear
out
or
to do
intimidation
his dirt.
is not consensual.
Miss Laura, he even
She said something that was so powerful
told
to me. She said when she was finishing up on cross-examination, and she
God
said,
had to
"Mr.
show
Bishop
him
asked her, weren't there some really good
who he is.
times?"
Amen,
And
Miss
she paused.
Laura. Yes,
Paused.
yes,
And
yes.
she just
He
broke
even
down. And she said, I was never really happy.
told
I wanted it to be good.
the end of the day that he is God,
I wanted to reach
that
humanity, to change the narrative. because
that
Black
he
people
was here to help
You
them
all remember what was
and
going on
all that.
She was hoping that she could change
I don't
the narrative.
care the girls was prostitutes or whatever they were, wherever they was.
I'm a Black man.
But no mean no.
Let's push out something that's different. But he became their worst nightmare. He undid everything they were trying to do inside themselves.
God showed them to Miss Laura.
That was so powerful. That's what Kendra wanted. That's what I think everybody wanted that joined this group. And he let them down. You want to know if he's guilty? I want you to listen to his words.
Right, Miss Laura.
All of you bitches belong to me.
This is what he's saying now.
Go ahead, girl. Bring
Hey,
it on.
Miss Tamika, how you doing? I hope you're having a blessed Wednesday.
And I will have my way with you.
And Miss Laura, I'm adding you as a moderator.
Where I
All
want.
I want.
And if any one of you disrespect me, and to be a bishop, go.
And I will have my way with you as I see fit. When I want.
Miss Laura, I made you a moderator.
I want. How I want.
This is the
She's
end.
at home, baby.
This is the end of
Because I want.
the trial, and then they're gonna go to the
So even if you find
go to the
out,
jury.
even if it's not consensual, I'm going to take it. His words, not mine.
So I
You
didn't
want to know
get
if he's
her.
guilty? Look at his actions.
I'm not playing with you. She probably wants you to take that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's how women get. They want you to take it. You asking for the vagina. I don't know why you doing that, my nigga. Like, stop asking for pussy, man. Take that shit. If that's your woman, that's your pussy. Take it.
Take it. That's what he actually believes. And that's what he did to Janae Newell on March 24th, 2022. Stop asking for it. Take it. That's your woman. That's your
Okay, now you should be a moderator, Miss Laura.
not mine. We are here because of his words and his actions. Mr. Bishop had a choice that day. He could have just let Janae go, let her leave the group, go on about her business. But he didn't. So your role is to determine what happened. This is your community. All of you live here in DeKalb County. Many of you worship here. You got kids that go to school here. This is your community. And so you get to send a message. That's what your verdict is. Your verdict is your voice. Your verdict is your message. And so what I'm asking you to do is go back there and hold Mr. Bishop accountable. I'm not asking you to say whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. That's not your job. That's not my job. But your job is to judge his actions. And I'm asking that you hold him accountable for what he did to Janae on March 24th.
Shout out to Nick
What he did to Janae
at night.
on March 27th, 22. And I ask that you go back in that jury deliberation room and find Mr. Bishop guilty on all counts in this indictment. Thank you.
Thank you.
She did a good job on that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Mr. Sandra. I appreciate the confidence you have in me. Yes, Miss Laura. Yes, thank you. You are so welcome, Miss Laura.
I'm gonna kind of defer to you all as far as how late you want to.
Right, that's Jared Stacy Hagrid. that is talking?
Comfort break or anything before I go down, I start reading you the jury charge? I'm sorry? You can stand up, okay, you can all stand up, but make sure you're awake.
Now she finna tell them about the jury. Tell the jury what they need to do when they go back there.
Okay. What y'all think? Mr. Booker came out punching, and she came out swinging. The jury is women.
Request a supplemental charge based on the defendant's PowerPoint and argument and closing argument, specifically dealing with.
The jury is also made up of 3 African American men. 7 African.
There's 3 African American men.
A supplemental charge based on the defendant's PowerPoint and argument and closing argument, specifically dealing with venue. The specific charge.
That's the prosecutor that's talking.
1.51.20 is titled venue special circumstances.
Well, Sean said that's the other prosecutor that's talking.
So to speak, of that charge, which deals with cold crime in more than one county, but it really deals with crime where you're not entirely sure which county it occurred in. And I can read it off or once or.
What's the
51.20.
Okay.
So in case it cannot be determined in what county a crime was committed, venue is proper, it may be proved in any county in which the evidence shows beyond a reasonable doubt that it might have been committed. I believe that's tailored to the fact of this. It counts 3 or 5.
Any objections, Ms. Booker?
If I can just say
Sure.
the charge.
Sure.
All right, and then so in addition to the African American members of the jury, there are.
Looking at the charge, 1.51.20.
The black man on the other side, that's defense lawyer.
Down to the last one, where it says crime in more than one county. If in any case it cannot be determined in what county the crime was committed, it is proper to include in any county. The state has averred to try to prove that this happened in DeKalb County. They haven't alleged in the indictment that it was in more than one county, so I don't think they can come in and now the indictment says that it happened within DeKalb County. That's what they've alleged, and I think that's what they should be locked into.
Okay, it is what we're locked into, but whether part of the argument in closing is that the defendant could have been driving around I-285 and that we don't know exactly whether he was at his house or not. I just think it clears up that the correct legal standard is whether by direct or circumstantial evidence, there's sufficient evidence to show beyond a reasonable doubt that the crime was committed in DeKalb County, and this is just clear because it makes
And
it
please,
clear
as you come in, can y'all push thumb up, thumb down? I see one thumb up. And then get out to the ribbon area so people can see this, so they know what's out here in these streets. Well, he won't be out there, but there's a lot of more bishops out there.
Alright, let me go fill the charges are back in the office. Do you know which one to say on?
Yeah, I just want to get this Ellerism out there
What's the number?
to other mothers, to other parents, because it's like he did this. There's a lot of more bishops out there that's trying to get your kids.
That's it. Alright, let me just go take a look.
All right, so while they're doing that, I think we have a little delay in the stream, so I can
Come on, go a little further.
see.
Remember when you used to be a pepper lady?
Alright, hold on.
It's only better than the one we have, but I'm not sure.
The one that you have has the headings, correct?
Yes.
Okay, the final one
Probably.
does not have headings, so.
Thank you so much for thumbing up for me. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to, send it out there. Let the parents know, there's a lot of more bishops like him out there that's after your kids. They're after the young ones because their mind ain't fully developed. 18, 19, 20, 21, your mind ain't fully developed. Miss Lori said we should have to teach our children early about muscles like this, not just
that's gonna have it in here, right?
not just
Like, well, we don't need to wait.
need others kind of caring members. Amen. Not just these other kind of encouraging monsters. Amen.
They muted the audio on that part.
Amen, Miss Laura. That's why I try to see a lot of people, they don't want to talk about
What
this.
do y'all think the verdict will be?
They don't want to talk about this.
Guilty, not
They
guilty.
want to talk about other things, but we need to talk about this because it's not never talked about. Coke is real. Coke is real.
Guilty of what? All charges? Guilty of this charge or that charge? Guilty across the board? What do you guys think? Guilty, 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 guilty.
So I'm gonna say that
it's like a
he's guilty
sprinkled in there, here and there.
I'm gonna say he's guilty.
Most of y'all saying guilty. A couple of y'all.
But I'm gonna push a little further.
If you do, I would be totally fine with that. Okay. You'll take it off? Okay, thank you. It's really hot under here. Okay. And I have all the stuff I need to read for you. All right. You will be getting a written copy of this to go over with you during your deliberations, so don't feel that you have to write down everything that I'm saying, okay? You'll have a hard copy to go over. You are considering a case of the state of Georgia versus Eligio Bishop. The grand jury has indicted the defendant for the offense of rape, false imprisonment, and prohibition on nude or sexually explicit transmissions. The indictment reads as follows. Count 1, rape. Grand jurors aforesaid charge and accuse Eligio Bishop of the offense of rape in violation of OCGA 16-6-1A for the said accused person in the county of DeKalb.
All right, this is the verdict.
On about the 24th day of March 2022, did unlawfully have carnal knowledge of Janae Newell, a female, forcibly against her will. Count 2, false imprisonment. The grand jurors aforesaid further charge and accuse Eligio Bishop with the offense of false imprisonment in violation of OCGA 16-5.
Ms. Doris said, wow, and he knows what he is doing. Amen, Miss Lord. He sure do. I'm so glad that 6 other ex-cult members, they testified for the prosecutor. And the one that's still under his spell, they was for the defense. And the prosecutor caught the defense witness online on the stand.
Without the consent of Janae Newell, the convicted person, did unlawfully cause the electronic posting of a certain video with a length of 56 seconds, with the knowledge that it depicted sexually explicit conduct of Janae Newell, an adult, for purpose of harassment, and such videos serve no legitimate purpose to the person depicted. Count 4 of the grand jury's further charging accused Alicia Bishop with the offense of prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions in violation of OCGA 16-11-9DB, for the said accused person in the county of DeKalb, state of Georgia, on or about the 27th day of March 2022, without the consent of Janae Newell, the depicted person, did unlawfully cause the electronic posting of a certain video with a length of 28
Ms. Laura
seconds,
said,
with the knowledge that it depicted sexually
we
explicit
pray.
conduct of Janae Newell, an adult, for the purpose of harassment. And such videos serve no
They could
legitimate purpose to the person depicted.
remove from
This offense
their eyes
constituting a second or subsequent violation of this
these
law.
that still under his
Count 5.
power. Yes, I pray every night, Miss Lori, that that they be moved from his spells and that they go home to their family where they really love that. He didn't love them, he loved the money and the violence that he was giving to them.
Without the consent of Janae Newell, the depicted person, to unlawfully cause the electronic posting of a certain video with a length of 1 minute and 8 seconds, with the knowledge that it depicted sexually explicit conduct of Janae Newell, an adult, for the purpose of harassment, and such videos serve no legitimate purpose to the person depicted. This offense constituting a second or subsequent violation of this law, contrary to the laws of said state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Now, the defendant has entered a plea of not guilty to this indictment. The indictment and the plea form the issue that you are to decide.
She explaining to them right now.
Should be considered as evidence. The defendant is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. The defendant enters upon the trial of the case with a presumption of innocence in his favor. This presumption remains with the defendant until it is overcome by the state with evidence that is sufficient to convince you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of the offense charged. No person shall be convicted of any crime unless and until each element of the crime as charged is proven beyond a reasonable doubt. The burden of proof rests upon the state to prove every material allegation of the indictment and every essential element of the crime charged beyond a reasonable doubt. There is no burden of proof upon the defendant whatsoever, and the burden never shifts to the defendant to introduce evidence or to prove innocence. However, the state is not required to prove the guilt of the accused beyond all doubt or to a mathematical certainty. A reasonable doubt means just what it says. A reasonable doubt is a doubt of a fair-minded, impartial juror honestly seeking the truth. A reasonable doubt is a doubt based upon common sense and reason. It does not mean a vague or arbitrary doubt, but it is a doubt for which a reason can be given, arising from a consideration of the evidence, a lack of evidence, or a conflict in the evidence. After giving consideration to all of the facts and circumstances of this case, if your minds are unwavering, unsettled, or unsatisfied, then that is a doubt of the law and you should acquit the defendant. But if that doubt does not exist in your minds as to the guilt of the accused, then you'd be authorized to convict the defendant. If the state fails to prove the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, it will be your duty to acquit the defendant. Members of the jury, it is my duty and responsibility to determine the law that applies to this case and to instruct you on that law. You are bound by these instructions. It is your responsibility to determine the facts of the case from all of the evidence presented. Then you must apply the law that I give you in this charge to the facts as you find them to be. Your oath requires that you will decide this case based on the evidence. Evidence is the means by which any fact that is put in issue is established or disproved. Evidence includes all of the testimony of the witnesses and any exhibits admitted during the trial. Evidence does not include the indictment, the plea of not guilty, the opening or closing remarks of the attorneys, or questions asked by the attorneys. Evidence may be either direct or circumstantial or both.
I'm gonna move forward to this.
Reasoning and common sense to make deductions and reach conclusions.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna bag it back.
The law provides that this instruction.
I'm sorry. I did have a lot.
And has or has not committed any other acts, nor whether such acts.
That's so true, Miss Laura. Amen. Can't hear. You okay? I got it. This time you are muted. Okay, thank you. I cannot hear you. Okay, y'all hear me now, right? Y'all unlocked it. I mean, not unlocked it, but unmuted. I'm so sorry.
The evidence may be considered only to the extent that it may show the intent or motive that the state is required or authorized to prove.
Okay.
Charge in the case now on trial. Such evidence, if any, may not be considered by you for any other purpose. The defendant is on trial for the offenses charged in this bill of indictment only and not for any other acts. Before you may consider any other alleged acts for the limited purposes stated, you must first determine whether it is more likely than not that the accused committed the other alleged acts. If so, you must then determine whether
she tired of reading. Y'all can tell she tired of reading. Because he got 5 counts. He got 5 counts.
Remember to keep in mind the limited use and the prohibited use of this evidence about other acts of the defendant. And by giving this instruction,
not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 counts on them.
Not committed any other acts, nor whether such acts, if committed, prove anything. That is solely a matter for your determination. Evidence of prior difficulty.
But I'm gonna push that a little further because I want y'all to get to what the jury say. They doing deliberation.
I gotta finish this obituary, so it is what it is. I'm gonna put this on private, and then once I edit it and get everything redacted, then I will publish it. Okay. Other people have streamed it today. I mean, the only reason why you got this stream because nobody was following the rules today. You know, like literally there was like a million lives going on. The court did not say the rule had changed. So I was just like,
That was before
Shay and Leah.
All right, that is one of them that's still caught up with the coke mine.
Just a couple questions.
I'm gonna rewind a little bit.
That was before
Shay and Leah.
All right. That's one that's still mine, still mess up. Her name is Aya. That's her code name, Aya.
She had a charger because she had a cell phone.
Yes.
So that means she had a phone and she was using her cell phone.
Yeah, she had a phone, she was using herself.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is in the statement action.
That's the defense team.
I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Do you believe Mr. Bishop is God? Do you explain what that means?
I believe that
Listen to this closely.
I live by the laws of my Yah. And one of the laws of my Yah is all things are consecrated from the divine. So I see God in everything. I believe you are God. I believe everybody in this room is God. Broken up into different pieces, different vibrations and frequency of the oneness that we all come from.
Okay. So when you use the word God for him, you're not giving him, you're giving him the peace of God the same way you would be.
Yeah, it's a piece of God, and for our documentary, it was part of our documentary to like make him the God.
Okay.
See, right now, y'all hear what she said, to make him God in a documentary. But keep on watching it, and we're going to see the prosecutor, catch up in lies.
Yeah.
Is that where the 3 God characters came from?
Yes.
Okay. What are other characters?
Yeah, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post all of them, you guys.
Bishop has a lot of characters on social media. He has 3 God, he has Dr. Bishop, he has Tony Todd, he has Leroy, he has Uncle Fernando, he has a lot of different characters that he plays on social media, and I feel like
beautiful young lady.
And I feel like,
but she caught up.
People try to put him in a box.
And I pray for her. I pray for her that she get her mind back.
I feel like we can interpret a lot of misinterpret stuff from social media. And I feel like the 3 God character really did bring a lot of attention, because this is why this whole case is happening.
Okay. Now, going back really quick, almost done. March 24th, you were there, April 7th, once the police come, are you near the house that night also?
Yes.
Okay, did the police question you?
No, it's been 2 years.
Yeah, Miss Tamika, yeah.
Okay, so
She lying.
Yes, and she on this witness stand line. She purging herself. She can go to jail. Which,
in my opinion, this case was very one.
by the way, she done been to DeKalb County Jail because she tried to smuggle drugs up in the jailhouse too. So right there, they're gonna have trials for them ladies too, because they done got themselves way in the mix of stuff. All 4 of the girls, well, I'm gonna say all 3 girls, they got caught trying to smuggle drugs up in DeKalb County. So after this, they finna go to trial too for trying to smuggle drugs in DeKalb County.
Okay, not your opinion. Just answer the question.
Okay. Did the police take your side? Did they ask you your side?
No, they asked me, did I want some water?
Okay. They never asked you anything else?
No.
Never asked you were you being falsely in prison?
No.
Or were you a witness of anything about March 24th, 2022?
No, we didn't even know why we were there, and we didn't know what was going on until we came back to the house and seen the warrant on the table, and we were very shocked at this case and the charges.
Okay. Were there a lot of people there in the house that day?
They gonna get her for perjury too. All they gonna come about.
Yes.
And the other thing,
even though they need undeprogrammed.
This case is going on. You've been in contact with Mr.
A lot of them gonna need some help after this.
Yes.
Like every day.
Yes.
Sometimes more than one time.
Yes.
Okay.
Some type of psychological help to undeprogram them.
How you would create what you would say around what other people would say?
No, I'm saying exactly what happened that night, and I'm saying exactly what the accuser said as well. She said that.
No, she said.
Yes.
So how she looking? Cause they ain't finna let her say everything she want to say on that stand.
Yes, I believe that.
Is that a question? Does that require an explanation?
Let me ask her a different question. Because the state's gonna ask you this in a minute, so we'll go ahead and say it in a minute as well.
All right, y'all. I gotta go. I gotta run out. Somebody said stay live and get more donations. I can't. I gotta really make it run. So, y'all let me know what y'all think.
I want to get to the trial part.
With y'all, but I gotta go. Again, this is gonna go on private until I edit it and all of those things like that.
smirking.
All right, gonna get to
He was
now
like finding it funny and
the
everything
verdict.
like that. Let me like this
All right,
is him,
that's
like, he
it
had,
right
this
there.
little
That's
smirk
him
on his
standing,
face while they're
sitting right
trying
up in
to,
there.
like,
That's
tell their impact and all
Alicia
that.
Bishop.
So I'm gonna show y'all a clip of it, and we're gonna get on into this verdict. Now, again, I'm super duper late, so a lot of y'all already seen it, but have y'all seen it though? Have y'all seen it from me though? Okay, I thought so. That's what I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Let me chill. But anyways, so let me
And I
go
need
through
watch
some
how
of
he
the
act when he
highlights
get
from
the verdict.
stream that I have and share with you guys some of the impact statements, share with you guys his expressions, him talking to the victims and saying
Watch
that
his friend. He got a problem too. I'm gonna even pray for him because he got psychological problems
it's just
too.
a whole lot of okay. So you know your girl got y'all the footage that you know what I'm saying, the footage that everybody else ain't gonna show you. You know I'm gonna show you, okay? Dream. Okay, so this is when they first came back in and they had the verdict. So let's start from here and then we'll zoom to sentencing and the victim impact statement. They on go. They already know.
So this was gonna hear. I know I don't do nothing but an hour.
Look how many sheriffs
But
is in the
I'm gonna play
in the courtroom to provide order in the court.
The verdict, and then I'm gonna come back.
Order in the court. Look at all them. Look at count them. How many is that? 1, 2, 3. I'm sure it's way more. They already knew it's gonna be some cutting up if we don't get some order in this courtroom.
Gonna listen to the impact statement.
Yes.
After this, and then I'm gonna call it.
And then once he passes away, he was sentenced to 10 years after he passes. So his whole life plus 10 years. Okay. That's what he was sentenced to. But hold on, let me fast forward the stream. I'm trying. Okay, so the judge should be coming up, but when I be trying to bump ahead, it be going too far ahead.
This is now on in his faith again. His faith.
All right, let's get it
from the jury. That's the defense
they
lawyer.
For a total of 6 hours.
6 hours they deliberated. They asked for 2 things. That's them 2 videos.
Yes, and you are the corporate.
When he was saying, "I'm God, you do as I say." You don't have to act at the woman, your woman. You won't have to ask for that. Just take it. All that's involved in that.
Enter it into the. Let me stand up and read it into the record.
Okay, I'm gonna shut it up now and let you listen to it.
All right, and it is signed and dated. All right, everything looks like it is properly filled out. If you would please hand it back. And if you would, let me just see.
His defense lawyer is so.
This is the verdict of the jury in indictment number.
He's so lost.
CR 1183, State of Georgia versus Eligio Bishop. On count 1, how does the jury find? Count 1 is rape. Guilty. And count 2, false imprisonment. Guilty. Count 3, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions. Guilty. Count 4, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions. Guilty. And count 5, prohibition on nude or sexually explicit electronic transmissions. Guilty. All right. And it is
get to all 5 charges.
All right. I'm going to have the deputy provide a verdict form to the state and to the defense for them to review. All right. Go ahead and mute courtroom C, please. Thank you. All right, anything,
They had
further
to
from the
mute
defense?
Alicia Bishop in that courtroom
Anything
seat.
further from the state?
I'll be filing a motion to seal the jurors, any identifying information in this case, I'll have that.
That it was an outburst
Okay, and
from
as
him.
far as the sentencing, when does the state, when do y'all wanna go forward with that?
We'll be prepared to go forward, as soon as this afternoon, whenever the court would like.
Mr. Booker?
I understand what my client is, Rich, whatever court's pleasure, it's fine, you know.
Okay,
I do have, some of the individuals that testified as witnesses would like to appear by Zoom, so there'll be a few minute delay in
Okay.
getting those.
Gonna hear
notifying those
The
individuals.
talk,
okay.
gonna hear the victims talk.
In person, so she would be available whenever the court would like.
Okay, well, let me just do this. Let me, first excuse the jury. You have concluded your jury service. I know this was a very long, arduous.
They did
trial,
deliberate
and,
6 hours.
I want to thank you for your service. And you can go back to the jury room.
But it wasn't long because some
Do you have the
videos
letters?
proved
I'll
the
come back
case
there.
along with the
Maybe
6
I'll see
witnesses
Far away.
that
Maybe y'all
testified
can
for
have
the
your
state.
letters, and then we will get you outside and on your way. So thank you very much for your service, and if you just hold for a few minutes for me, I'll be there momentarily.
But at first when they got him, they offered him 7 years. You know, it's supposed to be 10, but y'all about already
I'm
doing
gonna pause it
2.
real quick. I see people in the chat talking about the plea that he
Two
was offered. and
Already,
they're
so they
saying
just
that,
gonna give him
he was
7
offered
years
7 years.
and then be on
That
probation or
was a
something.
minute ago. Like,
But
he
he
was offered 7
declined.
years,
He
like, a
declined.
minute ago, and he
So they
denied
still
that, like,
gave him
way
another
back
offer,
when. And
but
when
that
they
offer
offered
wasn't.
the 7 years, he was to serve
Please,
2 in
if you
jail.
don't
So
mind,
he would have literally
whoever
been
come
getting
up here,
out by
can you
now.
please
And the rest
thumb
was going
up,
to be a
thumb
suspended
up,
sentence.
because it get the
So he
algorithm
denied
out
that
there.
because he felt like, he was innocent, and he denied it. So the day of court, they offered him another plea deal, and they said, listen, we'll give you 30 years, but this time it'll be the judge's discretion as far as how much you do in jail between the 10 and 20 year mark. So we're going to suggest
I just was talking about that.
20, the judge gets to decide, and you register as a SAer. And
If you don't
he
mind,
said,
whoever
let me
watching,
think about
can you
it,
please
let me think
thumb up
about
to
it,
help
let me
get the
think about
algorithm
it.
out there
No. So now we're here, and he has
for
life. So
for
let's
the purpose, because there's a lot of Alicia Bishops out there.
Change is inevitable, and it isn't always easy. But what if one phone call could help change your Medicare?
So agreeable to it.
I'm here to.
Okay, yeah, instead of making you come back another time. So we'll take a break and let you, here's the Zoom information. Yes.
All right, so they got everything together so that they can get their witnesses
I see.
and give him this life sentence.
Well, 3
So
watching, they
let me
put 2
go
thumbs up.
past the break.
Watch, can you
So when they
please
come back,
thumb me up? It don't matter up or down, so I can get
there was
so I get this
statements being
algorithm
made.
out there, so
So
other
let's
parents
go
can
here.
know that just like him, it's a lot of more Alicia Bishops out there. You see, it's like 6 of them that ain't got out of it, still got the mentality coat
I can see
thing. So they out there, they still gonna try to
Do you have that link?
bring in some more people.
Because I think we need to log
You
off
know.
and log back in. The connection on the screen that is displaying for everybody doesn't show doesn't have everybody on video.
She has.
All right.
She gonna have to.
You want me to end the Zoom? Well, or get IT, try to figure out why people are, I can see them. I can see Kendra and Velvet and Solar and Aaron. Well, Aaron has a picture. I can see them on the laptop, but I don't see them on the main system. And the same with Mr. Bishop. If you can come in here, you'll to be able to see what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right, thanks, guys. Just hang tight for a minute. You see how I can see here and here? And do you see what I'm saying? Yes. All right, I mean, I can see them.
Yeah.
So are you guys okay going forward with just me being able to see them?
Oh, as far as on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not with it.
You can,
Can
okay.
we jail the computer and screen that they're looking at? Are they able to see the witnesses?
Are you able to see the witnesses in the jail?
I'm able to see 1, 2, 3 witnesses. Aaron D is actually not visually seen,
Right.
but I can actually see the courtroom as well.
Okay, so you can see the 3 women and the.
Hey,
the
Miss
Marquez
April,
and,
how you
some of
doing?
these items
I hope you're having a
in silver
blessed
gray.
Wednesday,
Can you see
blessed
them?
morning. I pray that you're doing all right.
Yes.
Okay, they can see the
Then,
witnesses.
the state is no issue going forward.
Did you listen to the verdict? Well, we already listened to
Mr.
the
Becker, are
verdict.
you okay, or do you
He
wanna
was
do
found
this?
guilty on 5 charges. Now we're gonna listen to
Okay. Restart, all right, we're just gonna
the
restart
victim
it. I have
impact
everybody-
statement.
Yes, okay. All right, the courtroom is gonna disappear for a moment, I think.
I'm glad that you're here too, Miss April.
All right, and then I'm still here. Let me turn on my video so y'all can see me. Okay, I'm still here and we're just gonna reconnect the Zoom. Here. Technical difficulties. All right.
And then next you're gonna hear from the victim impact statement.
Oh, I see now. Okay. So whoever's connected on iPhone, it looks like, are you driving? So I need
all right,
Miss
April, this trial, Alicia Bishop trial.
So that everything is safe.
It's Alicia Bishop trial. And we just looking at the verdict now. He was found guilty on all 5 charges.
I think a lot of y'all in the chat are confused about the law. If I don't know where y'all got the fact, because a lot of people in the chat are saying life is 25 years or life is 20 years.
But
That's
he
not
already
life
been
is.
found
Like,
guilty.
A life sentence is a life sentence.
He already been found guilty. So now after the judge, after the impact story, after the victim impact, then she gonna go ahead and go ahead and sentence him this the same day. So here we go.
25 years to life is we gonna get you for 25 and we'll decide if we want to keep you until you die. That's 25 to life. So there's a life sentence, and then there's 20
Nature
years
Boy
to life,
kids
15
grew
years
up
to life,
in foster care.
30, like that. It's not
Nature
life.
Boy.
It's not.
I got you.
It's not. Well, that's not how it is here in California.
Said Nature Boy.
Are y'all noticing how the media is using
Yeah, wait till it
war
go
in the
up
Middle East
so I
to
can
cover
see
up
the
real
rest of the
news?
part.
They keep taking down this video so y'all can't pocket this
So,
$5,000, but I'm gonna
Nature
put y'all
Boy.
on. Y'all are entitled to $5,400 in your pocket due to a new stimulus-like program until this Friday. The state is handing out these $5,400 health spending cards by the thousands. You don't even need a job or gotta give any personal info to get these funds. This
I'm
target
gonna read.
goes
I'm
with
gonna read. No,
food
soon
every
they go
30
up,
days,
Miss
and you
April.
can
I'm
swipe
gonna
this
read. I
card
can't read the
everywhere you
whole
go.
thing. I
Swipe it
guess
for your
because it's
gas,
here.
groceries, all
Ain't
the
in the
essentials.
way.
The catch is everyone who doesn't have Medicaid gets approved, but they don't automatically enroll you into this, so you gotta call in to get yours. The best part is that you don't gotta pay a dime back. This money is yours to keep. It doesn't matter if you're broke or unemployed. They put everyone on. To get yours, go to the official website.
Yes, I see that part where it's a sad story. Yeah, it's a sad story.
3 minutes of your time,
You know,
approve you for your
I was hearing that
spending
he ain't
costs.
had
I'm sure
no.
this extra
His
money
mother
is
and
gonna help
father
y'all with all
passed
you do.
away
I'm
when he
gonna
was
drop a
coming
link
up. He
below
was
for you. Make sure to click it and get these funds before it's
back
Silver
and
Friday.
forth in different foster cares.
They
And
took down Facebook to keep y'all from finding out about this until the end of.
I know that he was in foster care and all that they were saying that he was in. Now I can read it. Said Nature Boy, poor kids grew up in foster care such as car stores. Yeah, I will listen to that too. I've been watching for 6 years. So I was hearing a little bit about that. And she also said, yes, Nature Boy was in a foster care crew that sending foster women survive off the streets. Yep. Oh, yeah. I was hearing stuff about that too. And his sister was saying some stuff too. That they interviewed her. And she said they grew up different. And he opened up I guess when he got old, he opened up his own barbershop. And this man named Mr. Dean Witter, I guess he supposed to be gay, Nature Boy, examination on all that. And he fumbled with Nature Boy first time. And Nature Boy said in his own words that he don't have a problem with how I'm put an LBQ community, because when he let this false doctor examine him for $50.
This week, the GOP be handing out free 60.
Let me say that, because that's not how it is here in California. Like, I think y'all are confusing
some people
X amount of years to life with a life sentence. Like, people could get sentenced to 25 years, and then at the 25-year mark, it's up to the parole to decide,
so
do we want to keep him? Do we want to let him go?
Has he
improved? No, we want to keep them in a little longer. Like, they have that leeway to
yes,
Miss
April, you're right.
Nature Boy has life without so when you have a parole eligibility.
But I do pray for Miss April. I pray for everybody that's involved. I pray for everybody that's involved. Everybody. I pray for the victims. I pray for the one that's still there, still representing him. That they get their mind right. I pray for Alicia,
Maybe it's different there.
So it's no good nowhere around.
25 to life to mean 25 years, and it could end up to life. I've always known life to be life. So anyways, somebody told me to Google it. Well,
but you got to pay for what you do wrong.
And get started. So, Mr. Ray,
I don't wish nobody be in no prison, no jailhouse, or nothing.
All right.
But when you run around here and you thinking you God, the real God gonna show you who really is God. All right, that's Alicia Bishop right there.
I'm still making that decision, but we'll go forward. Kendra, you ready?
All right, if you can unmute, please. There you go.
Can't see you, so
I will, Your Honor. Ms. Carter, if you raise your right hand.
the light, well, Bishop, you can't
Do
hear
you
it.
swear or affirm the testimony
You can't
you give
see him,
the court
brother.
today will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down if you introduce
All right,
yourself
this
once again,
Kendra, that's
please.
one of the
Right, so right
victims.
now what's happening is victim impact statements. So they decided, listen, we're going to throw the book at him anyway. So why waste the court's time or anybody else's time with bringing him back, coming back any other time? Like, let's just get him off the streets right here, right now. So they're going forward right now with the sentencing. And before he gets sentenced, the victims who testified, they are going to give a statement. Now, once they start to give their impact statement, he is going to be smirking. He's going to be finding it funny. He is just taking
Yeah, he
this
gonna
whole
be
thing
laughing
like
and
it's a
doing
joke.
all type of crazy stuff up in there. He ain't gonna listen to what they got to say.
My name is Kendra Carter.
Her name is Kendra Carter.
Ms. Carter, if you want, or what do you want to tell the
You gonna
judge
hear
that she
what he
considered
done did to
whether the
them.
sentences for Mr. Bishop?
Well, I wrote something, but should I not read them?
You can read what, if you want to read what you wrote, that's fine.
Okay. For the past 2 years, I woke up in the morning, relieved that it was just another nightmare, and that I am not actually still in the cult of carbonation under the control of Eligio Bishop. When I left home in 2017, 5 days after my 24th birthday, to join carbonation, I was excited to pursue a lifestyle focused on growth and community. Bishop said we have to be the change we want to see in the world. We are the ones that are the creators of peace and harmony here on earth. And I believed him. At first, I felt empowered. I thought finally I found the answers to all of my life's questions. Finally, my prayers were
That light where he at, you can't see
Never did
him.
I ever imagine the trauma I would go through in some of the most beautiful locations in the world. But now I know he used the natural beauty of those places to attract young people who weren't fully aware of their own beauty and potential, so that he could exploit them. Under the guise of a spiritual journey, he inspired many of us to drop out of school, to stop pursuing our own passions, to cut off any ties to our identity, including our names, our family, and young children, and to trust only in what he provided for us. He knew exactly how to make every person he recruited feel special, like they had something great to contribute to the community. He love bombed us, especially the women, so that he could slowly gain our trust. He waited until I trusted him and had developed a friendship with the woman he was with to lure me in to his tent with him, saying we would just watch a movie while he schemed to take something that was so valuable.
If you don't apply in time, you'll have to wait. We want to update you on the polygamist cult leader trial at a very interesting moment.
Absolutely no saying no to him. I was trapped psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and physically.
This is Alicia Bishop right there.
On social media to brag about his power and control over each and every one of us. He said he was God and we were his servants and slaves. As he continued to get more and more drunk off the attention and power, he saw himself as untouchable. No one was going to hold Bishop accountable, and so he would only drink bigger and more violent, while many of us under his control got sucked into the nightmare of his world. Slowly but surely the lines became blurred, and he made changes to the rules and roles of everyone as he saw fit. Suddenly we were bowing at his feet because he said it was for our own good. Then we were publicly shamed and humiliated as he made us relive our childhood traumas and traumatic memories, forcing us to talk about it on live streams for thousands of people to see. Finally, he controlled all of the relationships for his own sexual deviance. I'll never forget after me and my husband had our child and he told us we couldn't be together. He made me move out of the room with my husband and child and into the room across from his, against my will. And he told me,
see what he doing? He like he trying to, he making a gun thing to, like he got a gun to shoot.
At that time, I was married and a mother to a 2-year-old, and he didn't care.
He restricted me from seeing my husband and our child so that I could, what he called, focus on him. That meant catering to his every need, whether that be helping him get dressed every morning, brushing his teeth, giving him massages, cooking his meals, doing sexual favors while he recorded video, and sending him nude photos of myself. What God wanted, we were required to give, no matter what. And we had to give it with a smile like we enjoyed it. I and so many other women there have no choice but to give up our own right to make decisions and disregard our
Now he disrespecting. See, he disrespecting.
And needed to replace our thoughts with his.
And the guards is not listening to him.
And follow his instructions exactly. At first, we were just instructed to do squats and push-ups, then it escalated to being isolated in the closet for days at a time and standing in the corner naked for at least 3 hours. And eventually, he would introduce extreme verbal and physical punishment.
He laughing and he thinking stuff funny.
To join his life since becoming Nature Boy, and though none of us were forced to come, every single one of us was deceptively recruited. We trusted him and thought he had our best interests, and he knew this. No one volunteered to be taken advantage of emotionally, financially, physically, spiritually, or psychologically. I would have never joined Heart Nation in 2017 if I knew that in 2020.
So she joined Carbon Nation 2017.
In order to surrender. I would have never joined in 2017 if I knew that I would be forced to watch as he beat a woman in front of all of us on the 4th of July of 2020 during a picnic in the park. I would have never joined if I knew that he would eventually separate other men from the women so that he could force every woman to have sex with him, whether they wanted to or not. Or if I would have known we would be ordered to slap and jump others. Or if I knew that he would have the final say on every aspect of our lives, from food to clothes to where we could go or sleep, or where if we could take a walk, or if we could leave the group, we would need permission. And that we wouldn't be able to go anywhere by ourselves.
If that ain't no cult leader, my name ain't what it is.
Every day, not knowing whom he would hurt that day, whom he would order us to hurt, or if I would be hurt that day.
All right, let me pause it. You see all of his theatrics while she's giving her testimony, and the bailiffs are not even listening to him. Like the lady up in front, she has not even flinched or moved. And he is just pleading his case to her and the other bailiffs and just chatting away. And the lady ain't paying him no type of mind or attention.
No attention.
All the while the judge is looking at him, looking at his behavior. Now, mind you, these victim impact statements came before she handed down her sentence.
Right.
So all of these things went into account.
It's going to go into account.
From the beginning, she kind of was already leaning towards that because she really put a lot of emphasis on, you sure you want to do this? Because you face
God would have gave him grace and mercy
if you don't want to take the plea deal because you're facing life.
He wouldn't be doing all that. So maybe he wouldn't have got them years that he got.
People get a change of heart. They see like, okay, well, this person might be remorseful or they might not, take accountability for it or something. And she sees like he takes this as a joke. And she sees all of the people that he has ruined. Let's continue.
All it took was for someone to have what he would call an attitude, or for them to slightly resist him. He often responded to any resistance from the women with whipping them with a leather belt over and over while he laughed and made the rest of us watch. He would make us lay flat on our stomachs while he walked around in a rage, taunting us, degrading us, kicking us, and stomping on us, beating us into submission. He said we were his property and that he could do anything he wanted to us. No one was coming to save us in these foreign countries. He said no one cared about black girls like us, not in America or anywhere else.
See what got the mind at?
Betraying Christ, the Messiah.
No, Miss Lord. Miss Lord says so many have misused
he said he loves to dominate
they have
and the feeling of being able to hurt us or kill us at any moment.
Gotten from society. They get too big and think that they are so important. Right, Miss Laura? Right. when it comes to kicking women's in the stomach and all that. Stay.
That he called discipline. He told us that we were doing.
Stay humble. Yes, Miss Lori, stay humble. Yes. You got to be humble. And about what you do is how you do it. But when you get these young ladies over there
all the beautiful places we saw,
to do that to them,
the beaches in Puerto Rico, all of the music we made.
God got something in store.
He often guilt tripped us, even while he's in jail. He's tried to intimidate us. For years, he gaslit us into thinking maybe he wasn't that bad. Maybe he just wasn't so bad. It took months for me to stop blaming myself. And
you see how he doing? You see how he acting up? How he acting up?
I was able to finally stop protecting my abuser and speak up about what happened to me and so many other young people. It's a shame even young children were involved as well. It's not
There's some kids was born up in the cult. It's like her child was born in the cult. And his wife was born in his wife's child was born in a cult.
Not to be hurt, abused, and used, exploited.
But you know what?
So many people have prayed for.
You know who I really feel sorry for? I feel sorry for his kids. I feel sorry for the 5-year-old that I feel sorry for the mama that the mama got to tell when she get ready to say, "Well, my daddy yet," that one day she going to explain to him. She going to explain to her child what's going on. Because if you don't explain to your child going to see it on the internet.
This day where justice is finally being served. And I thank everyone who heard us and who saw us and who fought for our freedom.
Because everything he did went
push through.
Girl. It went on the internet.
I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Becker, do you have any questions?
I have no questions.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, Ms. Marquez, are you driving?
All right.
Or are you a passenger?
That's the wife, Miss Marquez. That's the wife of Alicia Bishop.
Try it again. There you go. All right, are you a passenger?
Others.
No, I'm just
mistreating others.
Okay, no
Down
If you can raise your
the
hand.
road, it will
And
surface on you. Amen, Miss Lori. Amen.
Court today will be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
You can put your hand down if you please introduce yourself again.
I'm Velvet Marquez.
All right, that's the wife, Alicia Bishop.
The judge, if she considers an appropriate sentence for Mr. Bishop.
Sure, yes.
She got a child up by Alicia Bishop.
First of all, I just want to thank you for your time, for your patience, because it was drawn out for a very long time. I'm counting years. And everything that Kendra just said, she put it in a nutshell. And moving forward from it all and trying to heal from it all and knowing that I was targeted from a spiritual standpoint, I've literally had to get myself comforted.
Who is he talking to? Like, who is Nature Boy talking to? Like, the lady is not paying him no mind. Is there somebody in the back of her that he's talking to? Because the other people in the back, their heads not moving. It don't look like they're having a conversation either. Like, who is he talking to? Anyways, let's continue with Velvet. Velvet, a lot of people are conflicted about whether they feel like she's a victim, not a victim. I feel like all of them were a victim of him of some sort. Did they participate in things? Can they be held accountable for their role in things? Yes. Ultimately, yes. But I think at the end of the day, he knew how to target weak-minded people. He knew how to
and
target
that's why he
people
was
who
talking
didn't
weak-minded
have nowhere to
people.
go. Like, a lot of people, and I'm going to finish playing their victim statements in a minute, but a lot of people were like, throughout this trial coverage, a lot of people in my comments were talking about how, they don't understand, why would you stay? Why would you this? Why would you that? And for me, I can't see myself in a situation like that, but I do understand how some people can, as far as you not having nowhere to go. Like, this person done got into your head. He has told you
that your
that
family don't care about you.
Everything that you are. You have to stop communicating with people.
Nobody ain't gonna want you.
People that love you.
Type of tactics.
Isolate yourself from people that love you to go into his cult, and then once you're there, you're in a whole nother country.
Mm-hmm.
Don't speak the language.
Mm-hmm.
You're at his mercy for a lot of things, and then by the time that you get there, and he's pulled the wool over your eyes. You already burned bridges with all of your family and everything like that. So a lot of them felt prideful to not go back and be like,
they're scared, hey, they family ain't gonna want them.
Utopia that we're going to. And to find out that utopia is not utopia, who wants to admit that? You know? So I feel like he is a person who did a lot of damage to these people. Sheba's testimony to me resonated with me the most because even when she wasn't on the stand, even when this was not a trial, when he had her talk about this situation, she was crying and emotional about it then. Okay, when he did his Dr. Bishop character and he made her relive the day that he so-called opened her up and took her B card, she was emotional and she was like really feeling some type of way then. In my video, I covered up her face for the sake of, I was sharing her testimony, and with her testimony from the court, I didn't show her face just in accordance with that. But if you look up that video and you see that video, she was disheveled. She was uneasy about it. She was traumatized about it when she was in the cult. So to hear her talk about it on the stand, I believe her wholeheartedly. I believe that she was so wrapped up into a thing that she couldn't get out. Now, how everybody puts weight on any of the other people is up to them. I feel like Velvet is a victim. I feel like Janae is
all them that was over there is a victim
as well. I feel like he targeted who he knew to target. He knew to get people who had nowhere to go, lost souls, looking for answers.
You had to get him your money. You had to give him your soul, your mind, everything.
I can understand what the Bible is, who God is, who Jesus is to me. I really had to unravel myself from thinking that an actual person.
This the wife that's talking now. Well, they no longer married because she got a divorce from him, but she was the wife with the child with him.
So now that everything is settling and I have 3 children of my own, it's an uphill battle every day because I've literally witnessed Ezekiel Bishop threatening to kill me and my child on multiple occasions.
Hear that?
He said that my life is over and he can't ever saw me again. So every day I wake up, especially with online social media calls from other people that follow him, they leaving me death threats as well. And
I reacted to the video of him saying, "I'll kill you, I'll kill you." Y'all remember my video when I was reacting to Nature Boy and I had the mask on because he was spitting into
I've
the
been
camera,
watching
and he
for
kept,
6 years. I
spitting
know
and
a lot
like
of
that.
stuff
And
that
I
he
went
said and
grabbed
did
my
to them
mask
people.
because I'm like, oh my God, he gonna spit through the screen. In that video, I think I had knotless braids, and I think maybe the tips maybe were like green or something. I don't know. But in that video, he was saying like, "Ooh, I wish," he was like threatening her then too. So
yeah, all of them was getting threatened. All of them,
they couldn't,
including the men.
The person said that they would be sitting outside my home address just to take a picture of me and my now newborn, just to put it on social media. So
Do you know the average funeral
everybody saw the revenge porn they put out of me and Kendra and myself. People have, this has been public, and it literally, I wouldn't even say destroy our lives, but at times it has literally felt like he was trying to destroy our lives, even through our own families. And what breaks my heart the most, and that I have to be strong for and continue to be strong for, is the children. Because the children were severely impacted by all of this. They will never know their fathers. Not only that, the men that are the fathers of our child, we now have to look at them and see them as another nation or indeed your bishop, because they all carry some of the same behaviors.
A controlling type of person. Yes, Miss Laura. He was controlling.
My family, my child, his child from himself. And these men around us, we don't know if we can trust them. I don't know if I can trust them. I can't trust the fathers of my children. And knowing that my child is going to have to grow up with me, and I'm going to have to explain to my child how, when, where, why, that is a lot as a responsibility. And I'm glad.
And she 5 years old. Their child they had together is 5 years old.
Because our lives will never be the same. My life will never be the same. My daughter's life will never be the same. My son's life will never be
Imagine
the same.
that her child got to go to school now, and some the parents done saw him on video. How you think that child gonna feel?
That's not okay. You're talking
about them talking about her daddy, her father. Well,
this is what happens to you when you harm people.
Miss Laura said they are weak-minded to his.
And I want to tell you that all this stuff.
Yes, Miss Laura, weak-minded.
And so have I and everybody else. It was the environment that kept me away because I said no.
And that's what you're looking for.
She cannot stand.
He was looking for the weak-minded.
She can't stand her child. This how you getting your vengeance. You getting your vengeance because of her. You can't even open your mouth to thank her. You getting your revenge through this girl. And you can't even thank her and be like, we may have had our differences, but I thank you for being brave, because without you, I would still be worrying about if Nature Nut was going to walk down the street somewhere where I was at. Like, girl, maybe she'll get to her
to his power. Yes, they are weak-minded to the power.
And the only reason
just
only reasons why I came back to combination.
Just smile.
Our daughter.
Yeah, he just smiling. He just smiling like it's a joke. It's a joke. He just was smiling.
And it was about your child, Kendra, that you had with Aaron. And it was about everybody's child, everybody's children.
They tell him what he did to them, and he's smiling.
And I'm just grateful for everybody who continue to support us and fought on our behalf to bring all of this to the light, which I'm really not
shaking my head. Mr. Mika, yes.
For everybody to see. And so I thank everybody again. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
And thank the girl who's helping you get your justice, because via her, you're getting your justice. You're getting your just due. Like, girl,
and knowing that the judge watching every move that he doing, the judge is watching it, and it ain't hard for he making the judge make her decision of what type of sentence he gonna get.
Treating you this way, and you never were brave enough to go to the cops. She was brave enough to go to
Janae,
the cops,
that's
stick with it,
the victim that pressed the charges on her.
Allow you to be able
she would have the courage to come first to put charges on her.
Trying to act like girl ain't the reason this whole proceedings is going on for me. Anyway,
Janae is the reason. Her name Janae. She the reason why that this he going to trial now.
If you would unmute, and are you driving, Brianna?
I am driving right now.
Brianna is the next victim that she got her backside torn.
Sorry, that's okay. We'll move on to one of the other folks.
And then my baby's crying.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute you until you're, till you find somewhere to park, okay? And we'll call, we'll call on somebody else.
Somebody said that's not her justice, though. He's behind bars, okay? For for life. That is justice. For anybody who he has come against, that is justice for them as well. She didn't bring on the case, but that is justice for her as well. She was able to speak. She was able to tell her testimony. And she was able to let the jury know, even though she didn't bring this case on, what he did to her and what happened to her held weight on their decision as far as learning the gravity. So she did get her justice.
Amen.
Through this. That is her justice, along with
every victim got their justice. Every victim, even the one that's still there, they getting their justice. But they got
talking about in the comments. I really don't know. But anyways,
just pray for them that they get their mind right and that they can go home.
And what breaks my heart the most, I end with Zoka, and it was about your child, Kendra, that you had with Aaron.
Then he laughing. He think it's a joke. He laughing.
Should have been protected, and everybody should have been protected.
Does I know? Right, he got some type of mental problem. He do. You know, he did have mom and dad passed away. You know.
For everybody to see. And so I think everybody.
And I think he took that out on other women.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay.
Brianna?
All right, if you would unmute, and are you driving, Brianna?
I am driving right now.
Would you be able to find somewhere to pull over?
Yes, 1 second.
Okay, let's move on.
Sorry.
That's okay. We'll move on to one of the other folks.
And then my baby's crying.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute you until you're, till you find somewhere to park, okay? And we'll call.
Okay.
But she ain't had no baby from the coach. And I thank God for that.
Call Janae Noah.
Okay.
And thank you for the
Janae
donation,
Noah is the one that pressed the charges on him.
Do you want to, you can stand at the podium if you prefer.
But she in the courtroom.
All right, just raise your right hand.
Raise your right hand.
That's okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you present to the court to be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name for the court, please.
Janae Noah.
That's Janae Noah is the one that pressed the charges on him.
Yes. First, I just want to say thank you.
We missed out on breaking news from California. A pair of California teens were beaten severely with a hammer and brass knuckles.
Chance to be heard after finding our own voice. Thank you to God, the real living God that lives within us all.
You say the real living God.
And your presence is noticed in all this. And even to Mr. Booker for doing your best, for trying at least to give him a fair trial. But we all know Mr. Bishop is not fair. Mr. Bishop.
The judge looked like she was gonna cry.
Has been.
It's a sad testimony. I mean, especially from the victims.
He has tortured all of our souls and said he was sentenced to the abyss if we ever defied him. He made us believe that he was Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
They were looking for spiritual things, and they came to the wrong spirit.
I hope this opens his eyes. And I pray that the people who are there with him are set free themselves, so they can stop living in the illusion that this man has placed on our minds. When I first came across Carbonation, I thought I had a family. And I thought I could live free and fulfill our mission with the people that was appointed to be the gods and goddesses on earth. But it was torture for me. I cried at night and trembled at day. Olivia, you made us to be liars when we lived in truth, wanted to live in truth. The harassment was dreadful for me, especially around my pregnancy. You demolished Eligio. You demolished our connection with God just so you can be God. And you haunted our dreams like the monster you are. You damaged us all. You confused us all. You made love something we should be fearing. And abuse was looked as normal for us and was not supposed to be. The very people you promised to help, you tarnished and you destroyed us. You truly didn't care about us, Olivia. To me and many others, he was a God judge in court. He was a teacher. He was a lover. He was a friend. And for us, the members of congregation, he was a prophet. And he was supposed to be good for change, but he turned into a whole nasty demon. Who had sex with us whenever he pleased, even if we didn't want to. Made us ignore the children around just so he could get more attention. That was fierce with mothers.
I know you see the guy, you probably was gonna see Leisure because like real light where he at.
Olivia, you have atoning to do. You were our guy, but now you're a prisoner, like you imprisoned us. Now you're a prisoner, like you imprisoned us.
This the sad part right here when they get up and speak and cry.
God will have mercy. I hope for you. And this time there's no escaping, no running, no hiding. Face yourself. And sit there until you understand why you're there before you go off teaching anything to anyone. No Leroy, no Dr. Bishop, not even Three God or Nature Boy will be there.
You had a whole lot of A's name.
And God. The real God.
The real God.
And that's all I have. Thank you. Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, any other witnesses who want to be heard on the state?
Yes, it looks like Ms. Jacobs, has situated herself in a place that is
yes,
not.
okay.
Brianna Jacobs. That's the one that got her behind torn by Mr. Alicia Bishop.
No, you're still muted. Try it again.
Okay.
I think I messed it up. All right. One more time. Did it let you do it? There you go. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Wayfair presents
Yes, I was. I was on mute again.
And it's years that we'll never get back. And, sorry.
You have a wonderful day too.
I just pray that throughout this whole situation, that the ones that are still involved in this situation will regain their life.
I be forgetting I be putting on mute, Mr. Baker.
Because I understand where they are, and I hope this is the opportunity for them to break free from the spell that they're under.
Yes, cause
And
it's
even
like
for myself, it took a while.
I don't know
to
about the
realize
last. Her name
I've been
Soka.
involved
She
in
locked up in
situations
DeKalb now. DeKalb
attracted
jail now. But I know it's
and why I
5 of them that's still under his spell.
But one thing that I did from the situation is I found the true God.
True God. True God.
And I feel like that's the best thing that I got from the situation. So yeah, I feel like I really don't have much to say. I'm just glad that justice is being served for all of us. And
I'm glad that justice is being served.
Thank you. Any questions?
No. I'm told that Mr. Jason wanted to say something. He's not a victim or 413 victim. He's a victim in the traditional sense of that word, but it was not a named victim. I don't know. I was told it was brief. Is the court willing to listen to him?
I'm not gonna object to him.
Okay, that's fine.
Aaron, can you turn your camera on?
Aaron Dixon, that's another one that was in the court. But listen to what he say to him, to Mr. Bishop himself.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
Yeah, Mr. Jason, if you raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm the evidence you'll give to the court today will be the truth?
That's
Yes, sir, I do.
Aaron Dixon.
Yes,
He was
sir,
in the court too.
I'm just gonna be brief. I don't think that anybody in the world has led a perfect life, a life that doesn't have mistakes, a life that doesn't have shortcomings. But the distinct difference about Mr. Bishop is that even in this moment, as he sits in a very serious position, he's in disbelief as if he's done nothing wrong.
Yep.
And the danger behind that is that in order to change your behavior, you have to first acknowledge that a change needs to be made. Mr. Bishop has an inability to see his own shortcomings, which means he will never change, which means he should never be in the vicinity of a normal functioning human being. I personally believe that all mistakes are forgivable if a person has the courage to admit that they even made a mistake.
Yeah, a few more, then I'm be I guess one more gonna do an impact statement, then the judge gonna sentence him.
That I've ever met a psychopath in real time. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
That's all the state has by way of evidence. We do have argument at the appropriate time, but we reserve that.
All right, and.
Yeah,
hold on 1 second. Did you have any witnesses that wanted to speak, Mr. Booker?
Judge, my witnesses have been banned from the courthouse, so no, I do not.
Ah, okay, they're the ones who acted out, okay.
I don't know that they acted out, but they're not in the courthouse.
Well, I would instruct the deputies for all of those witnesses who acted out on the stand and the folks that acted out in the gallery were, once they did that, they were no longer welcome in the courtroom.
There are some people who were banned who didn't act out, Judge.
Okay, well, I'll be happy to hear from them if.
Well, they're not here, so we'll just proceed.
All right, Mr. Ray wants to say something. Is he a witness?
That's Mr. Townsend. He's sorry.
Oh, sorry, it says Solar Ray on there.
Yes, Your Honor, and I did not realize, I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, you can go ahead and unmute, please. Raise your right hand and
With this one, I don't know
Do you swear affirm the
about
evidence
is
you
he
give
sincere or not.
to the court today will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down and introduce yourself, please.
Cause he got a baby
My
by
name is Miss Courtney Townsend.
he got a baby. His code name is Solar, but his real name is Courtney. So Velvet Gutierrez, she got a baby by him too.
I've been very close to Mr. Bishop during this entire journey.
Now she got a baby by him too, and he in the cup too. Well, he was in the cup, but
and thank you, Karen, for saying what you said as well. Bringing that clarity and offering some medicines to the table for him to hold on to while he's in there. And for me, I had to realize that everybody is on a spiritual journey. Not everybody really acknowledges it. However, we're all there. I didn't realize that my purpose and being myself was all that I needed. I felt like I was missing pieces. I was missing my father. And I was so gung-ho on changing the world, I was willing to change myself to the detriment of me. I found all of my gifts and all of my affinities to be the very things that were shut down and arrested while I was at Carver Nation. All of my skills and gifts and abilities that could have me in a whole other position in my life were the very things being suppressed while I offered my daily vital energy to Eligio Bishop because I believed that he believed in empowering people truly. And instead of taking us to sovereignty, he ended up playing as what I would consider to be an antichrist. Anything that takes you away from your connection to the divine for yourself. However religion you found it, whatever mantras, practices, or meditations you use, that's your own. And I hope that everybody can align to their purposes. Everybody can get on track with their lives. A lot of people don't realize what we have to do to recover from giving away everything, cutting off all of our family members, and even ourselves, losing ourselves psychologically for so many years, what it takes to recover from that. So I commend the strength.
The 7 year,
Mr. Bishop.
He finally got served.
He knows everything. There's nothing I need to say to him. He knows what he's done, and unfortunately, he's gotten away with too much. So I've always wanted to heal my generational curses in my family, not having my father around as much as I wanted to. And I wanted to help change that in the world. We ended up perpetuating generational curses, creating more situations for the children to have to recover from due to our current situations now. But I know there's a lot of power in the tongue, and I believe in the best for everybody. I believe that everybody is going to find their way, find their light, however that looks. And I'm proud of you all. You are all very strong. Mr. Bishop, your light is in the dark. And you already know your chart. Do your work, bro. Nobody's exempt.
And is all of the witnesses and evidence that the state has?
All right, and did your client want to be heard?
I have no idea.
All right. All right, Mr. Bishop. Okay, Mr. Bishop, do you want to be heard? Come on up to the, if you do, come on up to the podium. And we'll swear you in.
Raise your right hand.
Do you swear and testify that God gives you the truth?
For sure. At all times.
All right, what is it you'd like me to consider?
I just want to say something to all of them.
Well,
I just want to say.
just direct it to me, please, not to.
I'll direct it to you. I'll direct it to you. Are you happy?
Are you happy?
I'm not answering any questions of yours.
Are you happy? That's his words.
I forgive you, and I still love you. I forgive you.
He in the court, up in the courtroom. He in the court mind.
Nothing in my heart. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset with you. I forgive you. I want you to know I still love you and forgive you.
You see that, Mr. Mika? He's like he's still in the court leader, even in the jailhouse.
You know how I am. I still love you. I still fuck with you.
You see that? No respect.
I got that.
Don't hate.
Okay.
Don't hate.
Is there anything else?
My heart light as a feather. I promise you.
No, he didn't say and don't hate.
Yeah, this a don't hate.
He
know.
saying don't hate. What?
I love you and I'm still here. I ain't miss one lick. I see what y'all doing, and I want you to know. I forgive you.
He's still thinking he God.
Thank you.
I love you. I love
Man, you see that? You see he's still acting up.
We're done with that. All right. What is the
Just a brief
Oh,
argument.
yes, of course.
It was at that moment she said, "Yeah, buddy, you're getting life."
Yeah, there's knowing that the judge is setting his face.
Like, okay,
The judge is setting his
I
face.
forgive you too. Go to cell for life.
I think all of this arises out of obviously an environment where women and the four women that have been before the court, as well as others who have not, were stripped by this defendant of their autonomy, stripped of their strength. And I think this week, last week, those young women took that back in pretty epic fashion. You've watched the defendant in the last 25, 30 minutes. His antics, the gesturing, the laughing.
Laughing and going on. See, I know the prosecutor gonna bring that up, what he was doing in the back.
And he will, for the rest of his life, be a danger to this community and a danger to any women he encounters in this community. Because we're asking for, and the state is asking for a sentence on the rape charge of life without the possibility of parole. The other counts to run concurrent.
What are the maximum sentences on the other counts?
False imprisonment carries a maximum sentence of 10 years.
Okay.
Count 3, the state's position is that it's a misdemeanor.
The
first revenge porn.
First one is okay.
Counts 4 and 5, the second and third revenge porn counts. State's position is that each of those maximum sentence is 5 years in custody.
And I believe the judge gonna throw the book at him because how he was acting in that courtroom seat.
Mr. Booker.
All heard the news, right? The southern border in Texas is still letting migrants in.